Well, hello, my name's Treesap, and I'm here to talk about Metaphor ReFantazio, Atlus's latest release. This game marks down the 35th anniversary of this company, and there's a lot of stuff sprinkled in this game that hints to and kind of references all the stuff they put out over the years. It's a interesting culmination of their games, and I'm a fan of Atlus. They're not a perfect company by any means. Just like any gaming company, especially in the modern day, they'll hold you up by your ankles and attempt to shake a few extra shekels out your pocket if given the opportunity to do so. But I cannot deny that they've created some of my favorite gaming experiences. SMT in particular, I'm a massive fan of. Of course, I love Persona as well, and seeing them kind of explore a new world is interesting. I was excited to see that. This more fantasy oriented, of course, there are some elements in this game that you'll probably pick up on very early on when you start playing it that kind of hint to some more things under the surface, but I won't spoil that, particularly because I'm looking at the Steam achievements and about 14.2% of people have witnessed the ending. That doesn't mean that other people haven't seen more of what I'm talking about, but hey, I don't want to ruin it for anybody who may decide to watch this. But first, I'll give kind of a quick synopsis of what this game is about. Basically, King gets assassinated, he's chilling in his bed, and he gets stabbed in the chest, he's gone, and well, there's a competition now. There's more to it, but like I said, spoilers. And basically, the people get to decide. Whoever is more loved by the people who they have more faith in is going to be made king. And you're on your journey because, one, there's a kind of overarching plot to basically take down the big bad, of course, but there's other twists and turns you'll find throughout this world. There's a whole lot to explore, and also there's a time management element of it. So you'll be juggling things around, similar to Persona games, where you gotta do stuff by a particular time, and I kind of like that. I really do. It makes me feel like, okay, let me plan this out. Okay, I'm gonna go there and do this, I'm gonna go there and do that. You kind of get everything planned out so you can kind of tackle all these different things at once, because you have your followers. Some of them are your party members, some of them are individuals you will meet out in the world who have their own little stories and stuff they kind of want to go through, and there's 8 levels to it. You have your first level you'll get when you first meet them and kind of build up this little relationship, but you want to do this because, one, a lot of these characters are very interesting. I didn't really come across a single follower, and you probably get it by now. These are similar to social links, and they have their own benefits that come with them that will make you stronger and your party members stronger, because these are how you unlock your archetypes. They're semi-persona-esque. They do kind of tie into that with kind of how a persona, you're kind of facing yourself and seeing who you are on your inside. With this, you're kind of facing your fears, and you're also kind of understanding these elements of yourself and kind of bringing out this power within you, this innate magic that you have. And these play out as classes, so any character can be any class you want. You just have to meet the requirements you can unlock. For the first level ones, the basic beginner level class, you can get that just by going to the thing, pressing it on whatever character you want, and bam. And you'll need to do this with characters because sometimes when you're trying to get into the higher level archetypes, you're going to need to have experience in multiple different classes. I keep calling classes but archetype, same thing. So you're going to want to grind things out with a few different characters and a few different archetypes, especially by the end of it, you want to get their premier class, their royal archetype that has all these new abilities that are really going to help you, because there are some bosses in this game, especially the final boss and just some you'll find out in the world, especially depending on what your level is and how good you are at facing them, that'll really be a pain in the ass if you're not prepared and you don't have your classes set up properly. And all these archetypes, they're all strong. Of course, some of them will be better than others in certain scenarios based on how they're set up, but if you build up a good team, you got good synergy going, you'll be fine. There are also other benefits to building up these relationships. One, of course, you get to see the story, and these characters, there's not a single one of the followers I would say is not fun to interact with and see how they progress through this particular story that they have. But also you might get discounts, you might get extra abilities in battle. Some of them might even come and help you, even though they're not a part of your team, so they're not a main member of the party. They might help you, particularly in dungeons. They might come onto a boss fight and give you some wonderful benefits. They might give you some money every now and then, might give you a decent item, send you a little care package. So that's something that you're going to want to do along with just doing it because you want to unlock their class. But now let's hop into the combat. Now the combat system is going to be pretty familiar for people who've played any modern SMT or Persona game. The press turn system is back, thank God, because this is probably the best thing about Atlus RPGs, especially the modern ones. Of course, I love going back and playing the older SMT games or even the early Persona games, particularly 1 and 2, but I can't deny that the press turn system is something that is interesting and really kind of makes you feel like a more active participant in the turn-based system, because I think I said this before when I talked about SMT5, but the press turn system brings in people who even don't really like RPGs that much, because some people don't like turn-based games like that, but it's just so good. It feels so fun. So if you are familiar with that, then that's how the combat is. There's a decent level of difficulty. I even tried out the game to see what it was like on even some of the lower difficulties, because I played through this on normal. Maybe on my second playthrough, I'll go back and play it on a higher one, because who knows, maybe this will get the Atlus treatment, and in like a few years we'll have a brand new version of it, even though this feels far more fleshed out, but that's never really stopped them. And hell, I'll probably be getting that too and seeing what it's like. I don't really know where they would go after this. I could see maybe them bringing out a DLC, maybe, because there is probably more stuff left to find in this world. I feel like there could be a lot more to it, or even a prequel, because I would like to see some stuff that was in the past of this world, especially after seeing the ending and seeing how everything played out and learning all this new lore about the world and all of that. It could be truly interesting to see. So I'm hoping this isn't a one and done. I think it's doing very well right now, so hopefully they will come back here and explore it, and maybe this will be similar to Persona or SMT, and we'll see many more games in this universe. But who knows? I kind of feel like I got off track a bit. Maybe did. I ramble. That's probably something you kind of noticed so far. But the combat is of course a strong suit of Atlus's RPGs. It's the thing that, of course, we come for all the other elements, but the combat is what keeps us engaged. And there's plenty of challenges here that you're going to enjoy. There's plenty of opportunities for you to have some wonderful boss fights as well. And also, there's combat outside of the basic turn-based system, and there's ways to basically help you out. Of course, it's not uncommon. We've seen it in their other games where you can attack enemies outside of like the RPG elements, and usually this is kind of just giving you an advantage in the battle. But you can actually take down weaker enemies without having to go in and fight them. And this will still give you some items, to still give you some XP. And that is wonderful, because it makes things a lot smoother for you when you're going through dungeons. But there's also the opportunity for enemies to hit you, which will basically get you ambushed. And hell, depending what dungeon you're in, even someone like the basic mobs, if they're given the right opportunity, especially if they can attack a weakness of yours, they can destroy you in a turn, especially if you're underleveled, so be careful. You can also dodge their attacks, and there's many other mechanics there. You can still hit their weaknesses, so if you have a particular type of weapon, maybe your weapon has a particular elemental affinity, it can give you some benefits in terms of getting criticals. And when you do enough damage to them, and you kind of like, best way to put it, you break their poise, you're able to go in and get a big damaging move that damages all the enemies that you might be seeing in that attack or in that battle specifically, and that can easily take down half of their health sometimes. So you're going to want to be trying to do this whenever you have an opportunity to do so, to get that extra XP, especially if you can beat them without taking any damage. That'll give you a big boost, which is really good when you're trying to grind out some levels, because you not just have to level up your character, but you're also leveling up their archetype. So you're going to be doing that as much as possible. You'll really grind through and get through the levels. And also, when you max out your character archetype level, you basically get these special upgrade items that basically just give you XP. So that can be great, because if you have some characters that are already maxed out, and you need to grind through some other things because maybe you need to have 2 max level archetypes to unlock another archetype, this is a great way to grind through that. And I think that covers combat for the most part. Let's talk about the visuals of this game. It's beautiful. It's got that Atlus art style that I love so much, with just a new fresh coat of paint for this new world. And not only just what we'll be seeing basically throughout the game, but also just some of the other art. Whether we're talking about the animated cutscenes, love those as well, or just the character designs, it's super cool. You know, it feels like they really got to stretch your legs a little bit more with this new world, and that's something always great to see. The music is also great as well, because those are 2 wonderful things about Atlus games. They usually have good music, they have good art, and it has its own unique flavor to it. This also has me excited to see what it's going to be like with their next few games they put out, particularly when it comes to SMT and Persona. I'm already excited for the next Persona game. It's probably going to be a while, honestly, and definitely a while before the next SMT game, because if you remember how long it took and how long we were waiting for SMT5, boy, oh boy, we got some waiting to do. Because I feel like when it comes time for that, oh boy, it's going to be looking spectacular. This is honestly probably my game of the year. And surprisingly, another game I really enjoyed this year was put out by Atlus, and that was SMT5 Vengeance. But this kind of beats it out for me, because I'd already played SMT5 Vengeance. Yeah, I added new stuff, but still, this is a brand new game. So I would recommend this, especially for any Atlus fans. This is definitely going to be a game I come back to and I play regularly. I usually like to give a game, I'm not a person who can just jump right back into a game after they beat it. I'm usually a person, unless there's a DLC that comes out, I usually got to give a game a year or so before I hop back in. If there's no new content being added to it, especially going through and playing a long RPG like this, I can't just hop right back in, put in another almost 70 hours. When I do, there are a few things I want to finish up because I pretty much got everything in this game, but boy, there was like one follower that I didn't max out, and I'm just sitting here like, oh, this is gonna get on my nerves. Oh, also, there is similar to Persona where you have your attributes, kind of these personality trait things. So in this game, you have courage, eloquence, tolerance, wisdom, and imagination. And all of these will help you because you will need to level these up because they will help you build up relationships with characters. So you will need to have these leveled up to a certain degree if you want to do certain things. And you will have to take the time to do them because usually it takes a whole day. You'll be able to do events day and night, or really afternoon and night. So you will have to kind of juggle things. Like I said, there's time management in this game similar to Persona. So plan things out. I felt this game gives you a decent amount of time and it doesn't feel like you can't accomplish everything. Just for me personally, one of the followers, you have to kind of find these items in dungeons, and I kind of didn't always do that because I was obsessed with doing something else. So I missed out on his. So next time I play this in maybe a year or so, I will make sure I do that and try to finish every quest because I missed a few quests here and there. Probably like, I don't know. I missed I don't know for sure. Probably like 10 or so that I need to do because I want to 100% this game at some point, but there'll be time for that in the future. And yeah, I think that's all. I think I've rambled enough. I think that's all I really wanted to say. I just kind of want to get my feelings for this game off my chest because I loved it. I recommend it. I gotta say it was $70 plus tax. Well, $69.99 plus tax. Well spent. If you're a person who doesn't want to pay that much, I would say we first sell. There'll most likely be one at some point. There's always sales on games at some point, or you'll find it used somewhere at some point. So either way, whenever you're able to, I would say play this. It's a good experience. It's fun. Or you can wait until they bring out the almost inevitable, like I said, the Redux version or whatever it may be. Oh my god, you know what I forgot? There's one last little part of it that's deals with the combat. I kind of glossed over this really. There's formations in combat. So front or back, and depending on where the character is, they can either do more damage or do less damage, or have better defense, better invasion, and stuff like that. So that's another benefit. Almost forgot about that. My bad. So it's awkwardly placed right here. But hey, I got to it. I remembered it. My brain kind of went somewhere else for a second. But yeah, now I'm finished with this video. Thank you for listening to me ramble on for I don't know how long. I really appreciate it. You can like it. You can dislike it. You can subscribe. Hell, if you're one of few people subscribe, you can unsubscribe. I appreciate you for making this far either way. And yeah, peace. I'm out.